Hello everyone, this is Ben with Irritable Gardens. Today is the last day of February 2021. It's February 28th. I want to, the purpose of this video is to show how to prepare for the fig season that is about to start. Though we are still in winter, the temperature today is 78 degrees in Atlanta. All through the week, we've been in the 70s most of the days of the week. And if it continues like this, in the next 2-3 weeks, the figs will start coming back to life. The apple trees, the peach trees, the plum trees, and all the fruit trees will start coming back to life. They will start waking up from the dormancy. So you want to prepare before they start waking up. Let me just interject. I feel good today because my wife, she said she wanted some collard green to cook, and I was so happy that I went to get some collard greens from the garden. You know, it's good when you enjoy the fruit of your labor. The only thing I have going on in my garden right now is my collard greens. Did well all through the winter, so I'm happy. But I want to show you how I prepare for the fig season. And some of the things I'm going to say will also apply to other fruit trees, to vegetables, tomatoes, pepper. I want to start. You can see it's hot. The sun is hot, 78 degrees. You can see that. Now, number one, the soil that you use. Now, this is the soil I use. It has compost and it has manure in it. I've been using this soil since 2017 or 2018 for my in-ground and for my container trees, plants. Now let me talk about the in-ground. I use it when I'm transferring my container tree or plant to the ground. I dig hole in the ground. And I want to tell you about the type of soil we have in Atlanta, in Georgia. It is clay soil. It is hard to dig the ground. So what I do is I wait for it to rain very well. When it rains very well, the next day I will dig the ground because it is soft then. And then after digging, I pour some of this soil in the hole before putting the plant and then cover it up all. Now with my in-ground, when I'm planting in the ground, I don't mix any other thing with my soil because this soil has compost, has manure in it. But some people put Fertilizer, they put other things, some even mix slow release fertilizer with the soil. But I don't. The only thing I do is after covering the hole with the soil, I put slow release fertilizer at the top and mix it into the soil a little bit and then cover it up with mulch. That's what I do with my in-ground. And then if the plant is still young, then I can give it soluble fertilizer to help it to grow quicker. But once my in-ground trees, my apple trees, my peach trees, my plum trees, my fig trees, once they are matured, I don't bother myself giving them soluble fertilizer. Why? Because the roots are deep down getting nutrients from the soil. So I don't bother myself much with giving them soluble fertilizer. The only thing I do, I give them slow release fertilizer at the beginning of the season. So that's what I do. But with my container trees or plants, I use this soil, and also I mix it with peat moss. It says retains moisture and nutrients. It helps the root, strong root development. So if for my container plants or trees, I mix peat moss with this soil, and also for the container I mix perlite. Helps prevent soil compaction so that it will be easy for the water to flow out of the container easily. So I mix my soil for container trees or plants with perlite and peat moss. And then after doing that, after putting the plant in the container with the soil, then the next thing I do is I give them slow release fertilizer. I don't mix my slow release fertilizer with the soil. I put it at the top and rub it in a little bit. Now this year my plan is to use chicken manure for my slow release. Now this chicken manure says organic. We all know that chicken manure is organic. All manures are organic. It says made with solar power. It is dried. Now let me show you something here. This is 25 pounds. Look at the NPK of this chicken manure. 5 for nitrogen, 3 for phosphorus, and 2 for potassium. Look at it right here. You see? Nitrogen, phosphate, potash. It has a little bit of calcium, 8.0%. You see? And the reason why I want to use chicken manure is one of the best manures for your garden, for your farm. The best manure is rabbit manure. Rabbit manure is called cold manure. And the reason why rabbit manure is called cold manure is because as soon as rabbit poop, you can pick up the manure and put it straight on your plant. And it's not going to kill it, it's not going to burn it, nothing. That's why it's called cold manure. But I would have preferred to use rabbit manure, but where I can get it is a little bit far away from me and it's very, very expensive. Now this chicken manure bag, this is $17 for one bag, and that's what I'm going to use for my slow release, because chicken manure has calcium in it. So it does not have only the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but it also have calcium and some other macronutrients in it. So that's why I prefer to use chicken manure this year. The last time I used chicken manure was 43 years ago in high school, in my 10th grade. I was an agricultural science student. And in my school in Nigeria, we had school farm. And every student of agricultural science had a portion in the farm for your practicals. And they give you assignment either to plant tomato or to plant corn, vegetable, whatever assignment they give to you, They give you a portion in the school farm to plant, and then you record everything. And then at the end of it all, at the harvest time, they give you a mark. And my school had a chicken poultry, and we also use the chicken manure on the school farm. So it's something that I've used before. So this year I say, you know what, I'm going to use chicken manure to start because it has more nitrogen. So I'm going to start with chicken manure, and then when the fig trees in the container start producing fruit. Now for my in-ground trees, I'm not going to give them any more slow release fertilizer because they are getting nutrients from the ground. So sometimes I give them a little bit of slow release fertilizer, but this year I'm not going to. Now when my fig trees start producing fruit, when my tomatoes, when my pepper start producing fruits, then I'll switch from chicken manure to this manure, to this fertilizer. It's called Expert Gardener Organic Fertilizer. It's for vegetable and tomato food. Look at the NPK. The nitrogen is the lowest. Why? Because you don't need more growth, then you need fruit production, more of fruit production. So the nitrogen is the lowest, which is 3. The phosphorus is 5, which helps the fruit. It helps to produce fruits, more fruits. And then potassium is 6, which helps the earth of the tree from the roots up. It covers the earth of the tree. So I will switch to this slow release fertilizer when they start producing figlets, because already the chicken manure has helped them to grow leaves and branches for the figlets to start producing from. So I switch to this, and then after that, before they start producing fruit, now after I give them chicken manure, which is slow release fertilizer, I need to give them soluble fertilizer. As they're waking up, they need food immediately. So what I do is this. I give them plant food. Look at the NPK, 24, 8, 16. 24 is for nitrogen, which they really need immediately. Now you can see phosphorus is 8 because they're not producing fruit then. But the potassium is 16, which will help the root, the branches, the health of the plant or the fig tree. So I give them instant feeding fertilizer, which is soluble fertilizer, to help them. So when they start producing fruit, I won't give them this anymore. I will change to this plant food. The reason why I will change to this is because of the number here. I don't know if you can see it, but the number is 18, 18, 21. Or you can use this soluble fertilizer here. Look at the NPK, 888 is all balanced, and this is liquid. Mix it with water and feed your fig trees in container, and even your vegetables in the ground in container. You can feed them with this. But if your vegetable is rooted vegetables. Please don't use chicken manure, because rooted vegetables produce fruits in the ground like carrots, beets, potatoes. You don't want to give them chicken manure because the manure might go into the fruit in the ground. But like pepper, tomatoes, sprouts, collard green, you can give them chicken manure because the leaf is above the ground. So the chicken manure will not go into the leaf. And that's what they produce, that's what you want. So you can give your vegetables that is above the ground chicken manure all through the gardening season. But for those that will provide fruit like tomatoes, pepper, above the ground, you give them this. When they start flowering, when they start producing fruit, then you switch to this fertilizer. So it will help the phosphorus and the potassium. It will help the vegetable or the tree or the plant to produce more fruit. And then for soluble fertilizer, you can give them either a balanced NPK or you give them this, because it has more. I don't know why this thing is not clear. You can give them more. You can give them fertilizer that has more potassium, more phosphorus, and less nitrogen. So there are other soluble fertilizers that have low nitrogen that you can use also. Also, you can give them, you need to give your container trees or container plants Epsom salt, which is for magnesium, because every time you water your container plants, it washes away the nutrients in the container. So from time to time you have to give them Epsom salt or any macronutrients that have magnesium to help them. Just like this one, I gave it to my tomatoes. I prefer Roma tomatoes, and if they lack calcium, they'll have rot. So you give them this. But if you give them calcium, if you supply them with calcium already, then you won't experience tomato rot. You will not. And then also another thing I give to my container plants is grounded egg shell. Now let me show you this. I have some already that I've blended already to give to my fig trees, my other fruit trees in container, my pawpaw, my white sapote, my other fruit trees in containers that I have. My trees in the ground, I don't give them these because they have the nutrients in the ground. So this is grounded eggshell. And here also, let me show you this. Here is my eggshell that I'm here to blend. So as we eat egg in my house, we don't throw them away. We gather them. You can see it's so heavy. You know, I blended some before. So this is the one I'm about to blend. And what I do is I leave it in the sun all through the winter time. Every time there is sunshine, I bring it out so it will kill everything that needs to be killed in this eggshell. Because you don't want to give your plants eggshell with disease in it. Some people use oven to kill whatever is in the eggshell, but I just bring mine outside, leave it in the sun. It can take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been putting this outside in the sun every time there is sunshine through the winter time. So very soon I'm going to blend this eggshell. So now I'm prepared for the fig season. So when they start waking up, I'm ready to go. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Just to encourage you to prepare before time. If you've not, think of the type of soil you want to use for your in-ground plant, for your container plant, your slow release fertilizer that you want to use when they wake up and when they are fruiting. So you use 2 different NPKs, except if your vegetable is a leafy vegetable like collard green, spinach, kale, you use the same NPK all through because it will grow. But what you want is the leaf. So thank you for watching. Please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Before I forget, I have one here. I have blood meal. I still have some left for my container plants or trees. You can see blood meal. It has more nitrogen. Let me see. I hope I can show you this. Okay, let me see. You see, blood meal is 12. Nitrogen is 12. Phosphorus is 0. Potassium is 0. This will help your plants, your vegetables, to grow leaves and branches when they start waking up. This is what you give to them. Blood meal. If you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. Because this year I'll only use this leftover from last year. But this is enough. Chicken manure is very, very good. Chicken manure is better than cow manure. Chicken manure is better than horse manure. It has more macronutrients. The NPK is higher, but the best is rabbit manure, cold manure. It won't burn your plants. It won't affect it. But for chicken manure and other manures, you have to let them dry before you apply it, except if you want to make it like a soluble fertilizer. Then you mix the manure in the container, 1/10 of that container, and then the 9/10 will be water. So you mix it very well, let it stay in the water for a while, then keep mixing until when the manure is soft, is mixed with the water, then you can apply it as a soluble fertilizer. Then it will not burn your plants, it will not affect your vegetables, it will do well. But if you want to give it a slow release fertilizer, it has to be dry, except for rabbit manure. So once again, thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. There are other videos to inspire you, to encourage you, to challenge you in your gardening. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.